Are you looking for a thin dishcloth pattern that is so easy you can finish it in less than an hour? Hello everybody, this is Deb from Just Do Something Homestead, and today we're not only going to learn how to crochet a fantastic and easy dishcloth, but I am going to combine two of my favorite loves. One of them is crocheting and the other is thrifting. I get to enjoy the best of both worlds. I crochet, I thrift shop, and then I create these awesome baskets that I give away as gifts. I'm going to focus on crocheting dishcloths. We are going to learn how to crochet the 1, 2, 3 crochet stitch. After I posted my holy marriage stitch, I had a lot of subscribers thank me because that was a thinner dishcloth. And if you are someone that lacks in strength in your hands, it makes it really hard to wash dishes with a thick cloth. The reason I love the 1, 2, 3 stitch is because it is a much thinner crochet stitch. That will give me a smaller dishcloth. Now, I'm not using a different yarn. I'm using the exact same yarn, but because it is spread out, it's a variety of stitches, it will end up being much thinner and the width is smaller. This is only an 8-inch dishcloth. In fact, this is the pattern that I usually grab when I'm washing dishes because they just wash so well. Dishcloths are some of my favorite gifts that I give away on the holidays, and that's because I call it a useful gift. There is absolutely nothing wrong with giving garland or mini stockings, but what my friends are looking for is something they can use daily in their home. Not only is it practical, but it's fast. I can make one dishcloth in less than an hour. With working full-time, that enables me to make about 60 dishcloths a month after work. I believe that it is so very important on how you package your gifts. So not only are we going to talk about what you can make, but we're going to discuss how to package them. That's because presentation is everything. This stitch is called the 1, 2, 3 stitch, and truly it's as easy as 1, 2, 3. So let's get started with my easiest, fastest dishcloth pattern. Enough talking, let's get crocheting. First, you're going to need a small skein of 100% cotton. These are my go-to ones. They come from Walmart, less than $2 each. It is a size 4 or medium, 100% cotton. And I think that's denim is the color. Keep turning it. Yep. It is 4-ply, 2 ounces. That makes it just over 100 yards, which is plenty to make one dishcloth. As far as hooks, I'm using an H, which is an 8 or 5.00 millimeter. And lastly, you need a pair of scissors and a yarn needle. A yarn needle has a wide eye and a blunt tip. Hard to see it there. There you go. Today, I'm going to use denim. It is probably my favorite color combo. This is a dishcloth made out of that. It is tans and blues and a little shade of purpley color. So let's get crocheting. I'm going to add a slip knot onto my hook, and I was just questioned this week on why I put a slip knot onto my right hand when I am right-handed. I don't know, maybe out of habit. I'm going to put 30 stitches on this chain. 1, 2, 3, 4. Keep on going until you have 30. This is what a chain of 30 looks like. Let me bring it a little bit closer. But those are 30. And as you can see, I crocheted pretty loose. You don't want this first row to be tight at all. So 30 stitches. The next step is to crochet single crochet. It's a foundation row that's going to go all the way across. You could use it in the second loop from the hook, but I like to crochet into the back bumps. And the back bumps are exactly that. You're going to turn your chain over and you're going to go into those bumps. That creates a look of a chain on the other side. It looks like the edging, instead of just one loop of the chain, it has the entire loop. So it looks a little bit better. So it's a little tricky. Go to that second bump. And I didn't used to do this because, to be honest, it slowed me down, took me a little bit longer. But you're going to put a single crochet in every single bump. If you're not sure, turn it over until you find that bump. Sometimes I use the hook end to grab it like that, and then I can go on. And yes, I sometimes yarn over and sometimes yarn under, as long as you do it the same. So typically on this one, for a single crochet, I yarn under and under. All right, put one in each loop going across. This is what a single crochet in each one looks like. And if you're looking at that squiggly saying, oh my, Deb, I don't see that this is going to work, all you got to do is straighten it out, give it a tug, and that is your foundation row. At the end of this row, you are going to chain one and turn. And yes, I know I turn in a different direction than most of you. Different doesn't mean wrong. I say that to my fourth graders at least once a week. So remember, you might turn it the other way, but for me, I like to chain it and turn it. Now, let's start this stitch. It is as simple as 1, 2, 3. 1 represents a single crochet. In that same space, because this is a cluster stitch, 2 is represented by a half double crochet. And 3 is represented by a double crochet. And that is what every cluster is. Single, half double, double. And it gets larger as you go. You have small and it gets bigger. Now this stitch is the one that will lay down, but it can only lay down if you skip 2 stitches. 1, 2. You go into that third one and you put a single crochet. Then a half double crochet. And lastly, a double crochet. Now what it has done is it pulls that cluster down. And now we have the second cluster. We skip 2 stitches, 1, 2, and we go into that third one. Single crochet, half double crochet, and double crochet. Are you getting the idea of how easy this one is? Just like that. And it adds this lovely texture and spaces, which makes it airy and easy to use. As you approach the end of that very first row of clusters, you should have 1, 2, 3, 4 stitches left. And you'll be like, what? 4 stitches? Deb, I think you messed up. Nope. I want to skip the next 2. And in that third one, you're going to put your single, and then your half double. But here's where it's a little different. Your next stitch goes in the last stitch, but you know, I don't like ending my rows with double crochet. It makes them bumpy and lumpy and hard to maneuver. I am going to use a second half double crochet. Pull it through all 3, just like that. So the last stitch, the second last one, is a single and a half double, and the last one is a half double. You're going to chain it and turn. Beautiful. Worried about where this next row will go? It is super simple. You're going to go into that first stitch. So the very first stitch is a single crochet and a half double. You're using both loops, of course, and a double right in the first stitch. Your entire dishcloth is made like this. So I want you to continue going along. You're going to count 2. If you ever get lost, I can tell by looking at it. But if you get lost, count 1, 2. You can turn it towards you to see the top of the stitches. And then it's going to be a single, a half double. Oh, I dropped them. Let me catch them again. A half double. and a double. I wanted to show the end of that row really close so you could see. Now, the first row that we did was just going into single crochet stitches, and so we were left with 2. So we put a single crochet and a half double in the first and a half double in the second. But now we're dealing with clusters. So you can see each one of these is a cluster. So the first stitch of the cluster is in fact a single crochet, and then you have a half double. But you're not actually going to put it in the second one. You're going to put it in the third, which if you turn it upright, you can see it a little bit better. So it looks like it's hanging off, but it gives you a perfectly straight edge. This is what I'm talking about. You have a single crochet, half double, and a half double skipping one. It's going to give you that little space in there. That's what makes this dishcloth so very airy and light. If you are a subscriber or follower, you know that I don't count rows going up. Instead, I measure. And so this dishcloth is 8 inches long. So I am going to crochet just under, because I need to add one more row of single crochet. So just under 8 inches from that first row to the top. One thing I enjoy about the ease of this pattern is that each number represents a stitch. So 1 represents single, 2 represents half double, and 3 represents a double crochet. So it's easy to stay on track. I skip 2 and I simply count 1, 2, 3. And even after crocheting for over 50 years, if it's a complicated pattern, I easily get lost. So this is just a matter of counting. I have finished my cluster rows, and what I have now is about 7 3/4 of an inch. If you recall at the beginning, my width on this dishcloth is 8 inches. I am going to quit doing clusters a little before that 8-inch mark so that I can add a last and final row. I want the end of my dishcloth to look just like the beginning, and the beginning looks like a chain. Remember, we only use the back bumps. So to achieve that, all I'm going to do is put 1 single crochet in every stitch. So that first one that we've been using, but now I put 1 in that second and the third, and I'm just going to put a row of single crochet going across the top of my dishcloth. Oh, this one is beautiful. I love how the colors have lined up and almost made the opposite. So we started with that tan and we end with that tan. I'm really liking this pattern. I like to leave a longer tail to weave in. It makes it a little bit easier. I'm going to quickly weave in the ends. I only have 2, which is nice. I really like variegated yarn because then you don't have that problem of having to weave in all those ends, but you still get all the colors. So I folded it into a piece of paper, and then I'm going to stick that fold into my needle and pull the yarn through just like that. It makes it so much easier. And then to weave it in, I don't have any great, wonderful ideas. I just go back and forth a few times, weaving it through the sections that are a little bit tighter. I honestly prefer to weave them in as I crochet, but sometimes when you have a loose pattern like this, it's not easy to do that. It's easier just to finish up and do it later. All right. I wrap all my dishcloths in handmade sleeves that I've made in a Word document. So I simply print off 1 master copy and then I print them on cardstock. I found that these tan or craft colored ones seem to pop out the best. On the template, I added these dotted lines. It's actually not to make it look a little better or anything else. It's so that I can cut in the middle with a pair of scissors and not need a paper cutter. You can order packs of this heavyweight cardstock right on Amazon, and honestly, it lasts for years. If I was to put the sleeve on like this, it would look like this dishcloth is mainly tan. So I fiddle around with folding it so that it shows all the colors of that dishcloth. Then I'm just going to wrap this around and tape it. This just gives you a much better presentation. I am often asked If people can buy my sleeves, I don't even have that template on my computer anymore. I made it, I printed it, and I keep it in a file folder. I'm almost 60, so I'm not real savvy on the computer. Creating baskets begins right here. I put all of my treasures I have collected all year onto the table, and I start looking for themes. All of these items came from Goodwill, and not only that, but I only purchased them when they were half off. Sometimes I do color themes. This basket is metal and it is silver, so I'm going with the colors navy blue and silver. This is one of my favorites, and it is simply a snowman theme. I have teacher themes, antique themed, garden themed. Isn't this mug absolutely gorgeous? It was $1 because I only buy them half off. And that's going to be added to another flower kind of basket. I still need to fill in all these areas with homemade gifts. With the blues in this dishcloth, I have chosen a large blue mug. I also have a stocking I put in the back so I can add a gift card. If you enjoyed this video on how to crochet the 1, 2, 3 stitch, then please like, subscribe, and share. Have a blessed day, everybody. Bye-bye.